For the Quran General Knowledge Quiz. Let's go! How many surahs are in the Quran? Let's go! How many surahs are in the Quran?
There are 114 surahs in the Quran.
Quran. One 114. What is the longest surah in the Quran?
The longest surah in the Quran is Surah Al-Baqarah.
Surah Al-Baqarah. What is the shortest surah of the Quran?
The shortest surah in the Quran is Surah Al-Kawthar.
Surah Al-Kawthar. The first chapter of the Quran is
The first chapter of the Quran is Surah Al-Fatiha.
Surah Al-Fatiha. The last surah of the Quran is
The last surah of the Quran is Surah An-Nas.
Surah An-Nas. What does surah mean in the Quran?
Surah in the Quran means a chapter or division.
Chapter. Which surah has no Bismillah?
The surah that does not begin with Bismillah is Surah At-Tawbah.
Surah At-Tawbah. How many surahs are in the Quran started with the word Qul?
There are 6 surahs in the Quran that begin with the word Qul.
Five. سورة الناس, الفلق, الإخلاص, الكافرون, and سورة الجن. In Surah Al-Kahf, which animal was mentioned to have been in the cave with the sleepers?
In Surah Al-Kahf, the animal mentioned to have been in the cave with the sleepers is a dog.
Dog. Which surah is said to be equal to a third of the Quran?
Surah Al-Ikhlas is said to be equal to a third of the Quran.
Surah Al-Ikhlas. Which surah is known as Mother of the Quran? Which surah is known as...
Surah Al-Fatiha is known as the mother of the Quran.
The first ever revealed surah was...
The first ever revealed surah was Surah Al-Alaq.
Surah Al-Alaq. How many prophets are mentioned in the Quran?
The Quran mentions 25 prophets.
"25." The longest verse of the Quran is in...
The longest verse of the Quran is in Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 282.
Surah Al-Baqarah, verse number 282. Over how many years was the Quran revealed?
The Quran was revealed over a period of 23 years.
"23 years." Which surah in the Quran mentions the ant?
The surah in the Quran that mentions the ant is Surah An-Naml.
سورة النمل. What does عنكبوت mean in the Quran?
In the Quran, Ankabut means the spider. It is the name of Surah 29.
Spider. Which companion of the Prophet, peace be upon him, is mentioned in the Quran?
The companion of the Prophet, peace be upon him, mentioned in the Quran is Abu Bakr, may Allah be pleased with him, in Surah At-Tawbah, verse 40.
زيد بن حارث.
هنا ظهر خطأ، هي قالت أبو بكر وهو يقول زيد بن حارث. لنسمع الجواب مرة أخرى.
Which companion of the Prophet, peace be upon him, is mentioned in the Quran? What mean in the Quran? Spider.
لنسمع السؤال مرة أخرى.
Which companion of the Prophet, peace be upon him, is mentioned in the Quran?
Not every companion of the Prophet, peace be upon him, is mentioned by name in the Quran. However, a few companions are specifically mentioned, such as Abu Bakr, Surah At-Tawbah, 940, Umar ibn al-Khattab, implicitly mentioned in various verses, Uthman ibn Affan, Surah At-Tawbah, 100, Ali ibn Abi Talib, not directly named but referenced in some verses. There are others who are indirectly referred to, but not every companion is mentioned by name in the Quran.
يعني حرت أني هذا السؤال راح أسأله في جوجل بصراحة. Which companion of the Prophet is mentioned in the Quran? شو هي تقول أبو بكر وبغير مباشر يعني الصحابة طبعا أبو بكر رضي الله عنه وسيدنا علي رضي الله عنه وعليه السلام أيضا. فكيف يعني ماذا نعرف؟ طيب راح ألجأ إلى السؤال هذا إلى مواقع أخرى، فلنقل جوجل. طيب هذا السؤال راح أخرج أني من هنا أشوف هي إيش سوت وليش جاوبت بهالسؤال هذا. طيب السؤال مذكور، وخلي نسأل جوجل. أول شيء راح أترجم لكم السؤال طيب إلى اللغة العربية. من هو الصحابي الذي ذكر في القرآن الكريم من صحابة رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم؟ هيا كوبي، نذهب إلى جوجل، أو عندنا جوجل أصلا. نشوف شي يقول. زيد بن حارثة الذي كان النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم تبناه يتعلق بالجاهلية. طيب الكل يقول زيد بن حارثة، إذن أنا لازم يعني آخذ هذا المقطع وآخذه إلى الذكاء الاصطناعي وأبلغه بهذا الكلام، صحح له. يلا شكرتني. خلينا نرجع للسؤال. هنا أيضا نرجع للسؤال، نقول إنه الجواب، لا تحكي.
Spider. Which companion of the Prophet, peace be upon him, is mentioned in the Quran?
Sorry, I'm having issues right now. Could not understand what you said.
Spider. Which companion of the Prophet, peace be upon him, is mentioned in the Quran?
The companion of the Prophet, peace be upon him, who is mentioned by name in the Quran is Zayd ibn Haritha. He is mentioned in Surah Al-Ahzab 33-37 in the context of his relationship with the Prophet's wife, Zainab bint Jahsh.
واو. إذا صححنا معلومات الذكاء الاصطناعي، وها قد رصدتها في خطأ في سؤال رقم 18، والحمد لله لقد صححتها لها. نحن راحلون من هذه الدنيا، ويجب أن يكون المعلومات المخزونة في قواعد المعرفة العالمية تكون مترابطة بشكل منطقي، ونحن طبعا التغذية المعلوماتية لهم، أي أن الذكاء الاصطناعي يتغذى بالمعلومات التي نحن نغذيها له، وهو طبعا الأجوبة التي ترونها وتسمعونها الآن هي من عندنا نحن من البشر يعني. طيب لنستمر.
Zayd bin Harith. Surah Ar-Rahman consists of
Surah Ar-Rahman consists of 78 verses.
ماشي خلينا نشوف.
$78 verses.
صحيح، عدد الآيات صحيح. نأخذ سؤال آخر.
Which surah should one read every Friday?
You're very welcome. If you have any more questions, feel free to ask.
Eight verses.
Could you clarify your question a bit? Are you asking about the number of verses in a specific surah, or are you looking for something else related to verses in the Quran?
Which surah should one read every Friday?
It is recommended to read Surah Al-Kahf every Friday. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "Whoever recites Surah Al-Kahf on Friday, it will illuminate the week for him until the next Friday." Sahih al-Jami.
Surah Al-Kahf.
يكفي إلى هذا الحد. شكرا لاستماعكم. وفعلا الذكاء الاصطناعي أذكى من كل إنسان على الكوكب، لأنه يجمع ذكاء الجميع. تحياتي لكم جميعا.